Hey, thanks for stopping by at Twisted Art Designs. Today I'm going to show some tips and tricks about Caran Neocolor crayons. They are a water-soluble crayon that are by Caran. They're very blendable. They have very rich pigmented colors. They're super fun and easy to use. They're one of my very favorite art supplies. And normally what you can do with them is to color with them directly onto your paper. You can blend colors together. I'm just going really lightly just for this demonstration, just to show. And then you use your water brush and add a little bit of water, and it makes this beautiful, beautiful color that you can blend together. You can make background washes. You use them almost like it almost becomes like a watercolor to me. But it's a little bit richer than a watercolor. And you can blend them together. They're super nice. The other thing you can do is to take your water brush and to tip them right off of the crayon and use them and color with them. You can color in adult coloring books doing it this way. My preference is to do it by tipping off the crayon. For me, I think that it goes down on the paper much smoother. When I'm working on faces and I'm using some flesh tone type colors, I feel like I get a much smoother blend onto the paper when I tip right off the crayon and use it onto the paper versus trying to color the face that I've drawn and then go back in and add water. You have to do a little bit more blending. That's just my personal preference and my process. But the idea that I have here, what I'm going to show here today, is to take some half pans or full pans, whichever you'd like, and use a pencil sharpener. This is a Caran pencil sharpener. And to take your Caran pencil or crayon and to peel it down a little ways. That's what they're meant to do as you sharpen them. Sorry about the phone ringing. And to sharpen them and put the sharpenings into a plastic pan. You can get the pans from your local art supply or online. You can get them at many places online, blick.com, Jerry's Art Supply. You can buy them on Amazon, half pans or full pans. And put them into the pan. You end up with a nice sharp point on your crayon if you do use it for coloring. And then take some water. I use distilled water just because it's more pure. And warm it up slightly. Don't make it super hot. I'm just using a syringe that I got from my vet's office for giving my animals some medication. It's clean. And put a couple drops over the shavings and let it kind of just sink in there. It'll sort of melt it all together. Don't do too much water. That's why it's best to just go a drop at a time. Add your shavings. And then continue that until you fill up your pan. The purpose of that would be if you like to tip from your water brush onto your crayon and do that your art that way. If you have it in a pan, it's almost like having a watercolor pan. You could put these in a to-go container, and instead of having to take your crayons along with you and worry about them getting broken or them rubbing up against each other and sharing the color one to the other, you could take these pans and put them in a to-go container. And what I'm going to use is one of these Jane Davenport containers. I took the Jane Davenport paints out and I put them in a longer palette an empty palette that I got, so that I can put all of my Jane Davenport ones all together. And I had this empty container, so this would be perfect because once I fill up my pans, my half pans with my Caran, then I can snap these into place And I'll have a nice little to-go container to take this with me instead of having to transport my crayons. And I'll just take my favorite colors. I use a lot of the flesh colors the most. So the colors that I use mostly for flesh are the Flesh Tone 042, the Sahara Yellow 521, Salmon Pink, can't find the number, oh there, 071, 051 Salmon, 041 Apricot, and then I like the two ochres, the Golden Ochre, which is 033, and the 035 Ochre. Those will be my to-go ones. I'll probably add in a few blues and greens, possibly one yellow and a red, to put in my to-go container. The other idea I had, which I think is a really good idea, if you don't want to buy half pans and you don't have a container like this to transport them in where they snap in, you really wouldn't want these to be tossing around in a to-go bag. So you really need something that can hold half pans. What you could do is go to the dollar store and get the smallest version of a pill container. This one's from Walgreens, and it's kind of the bigger one, but they do make them smaller. And you could put your shavings right into here, use it as a pan, put your water in, and then you've got a snap tight lid. So this would even essentially might even be better than using half pans, using a pill container. Then you can make a label for the top over where the days of the week go. Put a label over the top with the name of the color and the number of the Caran d'Ache. Throw this in your to-go bag. It'll always be closed. It'll keep them from transferring onto each other or onto your other art supplies. So this would be a great thing to use if you're going to shave your crayons and fill a pan. Use a pill container. Anyway, that's what you do. So you would just sharpen it, fill it, and then let it solidify after you've added the water. Like I said, don't do too much water. You don't want it to be sloppy. You just want it to be enough where it firms it up and makes it into a solid material, because you want it to dry out and be solid, but be in a pan, just like a watercolor. Now you can use it from brush to pan and right to your paper for your blending. So that's my tip for Caran d'Ache Neocolor. They are, like I said, one of my favorite art supplies. They make absolutely beautiful faces. These colors are a beautiful blend for faces and skin tones. And they're very versatile and they're lots of fun. I love doing backgrounds. And I mean, look at even that as it's dry. How pretty that is. Just a couple of colors colored on there and blended together. Look how beautiful that is. So they do, Blick.com does sell them open stock. So if you want to just get a couple of flesh tone colors to try them out, see if it's a product that you like. I know with art supplies, it's one of those things where I like to buy open stock up front and see how I like the product. If I end up liking it and like how it looks with different types of papers, I find that these work the best with watercolor paper, but you can use them, like I said, in a coloring book or on mixed media paper, on toned paper. It works. They're really beautiful on toned paper. But I like to get them open stock, get a couple of them, see how you like them. And then if you do, then go back in and buy a set that has a lot more range to it so that you're adding to, or, you know, buy a couple a month and keep building up until you have all the colors. So this isn't even close to all the colors. These are just the ones I've purchased so far, and I absolutely love them. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below and I'll answer your questions and help you out. And I hope that this gave you some ideas for some ways to use Neocolor crayons by Caran d'Ache. Thanks and have a great day. Hey, if you like this video, please hit like and subscribe to my channel. Give me a thumbs up. Thanks, guys.